Hi, I'm Ming Wei, and this is my design process for Our City's Fireflies. I based my research around the electronic genre from Fireflies, and also other albums that caught my eyes, spanning through illustration, minimalism, typography, and photography. I started writing down notes as I listened through Fireflies, and also extracted phrases, concepts, from the lyrics in an attempt to understand what the artist was trying to express. My early thumbnail sketches were largely visual brain dump by constructing the scenes that I've imagined, while drawing cues from the notes I've taken and cues that were inferred from the meanings in the lyrics. My first idea away from the original cover was the use of jars and dispersing fireflies with stars, as if they are evaporating. My second iteration was the disintegration of people into stars, which was a reference to people that were in the artist's life before he bade farewell to them. For my third idea, I distanced myself away from the direct references to the lyrics, so I replaced the jar with an instant photo that was dispersing into smaller sets as a metaphor to disappearing memories. In my fourth concept, I wished to change the perspective a little to create scale and some breathing space. This all started with another thumbnail sketch before moving to Photoshop. I started by creating a rough sketch based on my initial thumbnail sketch, then kept it around for basic construction. I then chose a gradient which helped guiding the overall color palette. The next is the oceans. Initially, this was supposed to be some vast ocean leading up to the city, but I decided to close the distance a little bit by adding land. The next thing I did was blocking out the clouds and add highlights reflecting the light from the setting sun. This is also around the time I realized I could be picking this cover as my final designs. I added the distant city using flat, simple strokes similar to out-of-focus lights in photography. I then added color balloons on an instant photo which might remind people of childhood memories, before ripping them into shreds as they form stars in the sky. My inspiration for my final cover were actually from a set of illustrations from my favorite artists, and some from Hayao Miyazaki's work, mainly the flame Spirited Away. The idea for my final poster came from my childhood taking photos on a Kodak film camera, and walls covered with instant photo. I wanted to also catch a summer feeling, so I kept a warm palette achieved using Lightroom, after creating the basic shapes in Sketch.